Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking a little bit more about cellular respiration. And yesterday I told you that this is tied into photosynthesis, and we're going to take a closer look at what I mean by that. So when we started this unit, we started talking about photosynthesis. We started with what are the products what are the ingredients that need to go into photosynthesis for it to work? And we said there's 3 ingredients plants need to grow. They need sunlight, they need carbon dioxide coming into the leaves, and they need water, usually taken into the roots. And when plants are given those things, what they produce is oxygen and glucose. Okay, these are the products, reactants, aero, product. And these are the products that the plant makes, what they produce. And yesterday I reminded you about the comparison between plant and animal cells. I reminded you that chloroplasts are found only in plant cells because that is where the production of glucose happens. So only plants make glucose. They're the only ones that have the chloroplasts. But both plant and animal cells both break down the glucose for energy, so they both have this organelle called mitochondria. So again, when we started with, and we could have started with cellular respiration, but we started with photosynthesis. Again, the reactants are water and carbon dioxide that come into the chloroplast. Light energy from the sun also enters, and that's what kind of kicks off. That's the energy that makes this reaction happen. Okay? And what we get are these products. The chloroplasts then make glucose and oxygen. And they make it because the plant has to feed itself. So it makes its own food. It is an autotroph. So now the glucose is made. Now what? Well, to remind you, as I mentioned, all plant and animal cells have this organelle called the mitochondria located within it. And that is because all living organisms need to make energy to run their cells. Plant, animal, bacteria, fungi, they all need to have some kind of energy to run on. And the magic happens in the mitochondria. And we call the process where the glucose is being broken up, we call it cellular respiration. And it happens in the mitochondria. So the plant makes the glucose in the chloroplast, and then it sends it within the same cell, it sends it to the mitochondria to break it up. So we have glucose and oxygen coming into the mitochondria, and then the magic of nature happens inside of there. And what we get out is water and carbon dioxide, and we also get out this very important chemical called ATP. So ATP, once it's made in the mitochondria, now it goes out to the cell. It goes to feed the nucleus for it to do its job. It goes to feed the vacuoles so they can get full of water or empty the water. It goes to the many, many other organelles that are located within the cell. So I want you to see that there is a relationship here happening between plants and animals. Okay? So this is a really good graphic because it shows you how it's tied together and how these 2 organelles are the ones responsible for making and feeding plants and animals. So this is where we started, right here, these pink or reddish lines. We started by saying these are the products, carbon dioxide and water plus light energy go into the chloroplast. The magic happens, and we create, and that's called photosynthesis, and we create glucose and oxygen. Well, guess what? That's just what the mitochondria needs. So the glucose goes into the mitochondria, and with the help of the oxygen molecule, the mitochondria breaks this glucose molecule apart. And when it pulls apart, it releases this new kind of chemical energy, okay, called ATP. So guess what the mitochondria makes after making ATP energy? What's got as leftovers? It's got carbon dioxide and water. And guess what plants need to keep them alive and have photosynthesis happen? They need carbon dioxide and water. So this is a great example to show you that plants do not need animals. Plants were already running on this cycle before animals ever came into the picture. Okay? They take the water and carbon dioxide produced by their brother and sister plants, and the carbon dioxide then before animals that could be made from volcanic eruptions or fires, and then just the water from the water cycle, and take it along with what's produced by, as I said, the other plants, and they could run photosynthesis. And then they would make the glucose and the oxygen, and that would be taken to the mitochondria, made energy for the plant. So this is a totally self-sufficient cycle that happens here. Let's watch this short video that I think makes a good point.
Do your students like watching explosions, cute animals, and awesome science experiments? Then they're gonna...
Wouldn't it be nice if the exhaust of your car could be used as fuel for your motorcycle? And the exhaust of your motorcycle could be used for fuel for your car. You would have a nice cycle in which both the car and the motorcycle benefited. Welcome to Moo Math and Science and the relationship between photosynthesis and cellular respiration. Photosynthesis and cellular respiration have a similar relationship. The waste product of photosynthesis is used in cellular respiration, and the waste product of cellular respiration is used for fuel in photosynthesis. In order to stay alive, we need to eat. However, have you ever thought, do plants need food? Yes, but how do plants get food by just standing around all day? Plants get their energy using a process called photosynthesis. In order for photosynthesis to take place, a plant needs 3 items: water, like you see in this rainstorm, carbon dioxide found in the atmosphere. In fact, we breathe out carbon dioxide, and it's also released into the atmosphere when we burn organic objects. And then last, sunlight. So here's how it works. Plants have small openings called stomata on their surfaces. Carbon dioxide in the atmosphere enter these tiny openings and travel to the chloroplasts. Photosynthesis occurs at these chloroplasts, which are small organelles that plants have. The plants take the carbon dioxide plus water and energy from the sun, and in a chemical reaction create sugar in the form of glucose and then some oxygen that it releases into the atmosphere. Sugar created in the chemical reaction called photosynthesis is used by the plant to create energy. You could define photosynthesis as the process by which plants and other items make food. It is a chemical process that uses sunlight to turn carbon dioxide and water into sugars that the cell can use as energy. Now, why is cellular respiration important? It's important because living organisms, including plants, generate energy for their daily activities using cellular respiration. Cellular respiration takes place at the mitochondria. Think of the mitochondria as the power plant for cells, similar to how cells use power plants for their energy. So here's how it works in basic terms. At the mitochondria, the sugar combines with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide, water, and energy in the form of ATP. So in summary, photosynthesis takes carbon dioxide and water plus sunlight to create oxygen, and sugar, which is exactly what cellular respiration needs. Cellular respiration takes the sugar and oxygen to create carbon dioxide and water plus ATP, which helps with photosynthesis. And this cycle repeats over and over again. If you'd like to know more about photosynthesis and cellular respiration, this playlist will help. And as always, thanks for watching, and Moo Moo Math uploads a new math and science video every day. Please subscribe and share.
Alrighty, so I hope you see, I think he did a good job of going round and round, showing you that this is a cycle. And again, plants could do this all day, all night for the next 100,000 years without animals being involved. But we are on this planet as well. So here's another graphic that I think shows it well, because it shows all the players involved. And the only difference here is you notice that the arrows are in a different direction, but that does not matter. So again, in photosynthesis, we have water, we have carbon dioxide, and we have sunlight. And they travel, all those things travel into the plant, into the cell, and eventually into the chloroplast. And there, the magic of photosynthesis happens, where nature turns carbon dioxide, water, and energy into this whole new molecule called glucose, which is sugar, which powers your body. And let me make a point. When I'm talking about you get energy from your food, let's say you ate a taco this morning. So the tortilla was made out of corn. That's a plant. You got glucose from that. Maybe it was a flour tortilla. That's made out of wheat. That's a plant. You got glucose from that. If it was a bacon and egg, well, the egg came from a chicken, and chickens eat vegetable matter. So they got glucose. It was in their muscles, in their eggs that they made. You got glucose. If you ate the bacon, pigs eat vegetable matter, which is glucose. It went into their muscles, and so you got it from that source as well. So everything you eat eventually has some glucose in it. But besides glucose, the other thing that the plant makes, it's oxygen. And as the guy says, this is a waste product. The plant doesn't really care about the oxygen. It's just an extra thing that gets made. But it's good because it is going to use it in cellular respiration. A lot of it is giving off into the atmosphere, which we're grateful for because we breathe that and it saves our lives. But it also, some of it does go into the mitochondria to help bust up this molecule of glucose. And when it breaks the molecule apart, it's going to make ATP energy. Okay? And this is what makes the cells work. This is what fuels not just your whole body, but down to your individual cells. As leftover that it doesn't need, the mitochondria also makes water and carbon dioxide. And man, look, that's great because you're going to need it over here in photosynthesis again. The thing I like about this graphic is that it's showing you photosynthesis only happens in plants, but cellular respiration, the breaking down of the glucose, happens in plants and animals. Only plants have chloroplast, but both plant and animals have mitochondria. So one last thing that I want to talk about that this graphic shows, it says down at the bottom, ATP drives cellular work. Okay, so it's telling you this is the energy that the cell needs for it to run. It's the fuel, the gasoline that makes all the little parts in the cell run. Eventually, this is going to leave your body as heat. Okay, and it says it exits the ecosystem. Well, it exits your body as heat again. And think about it. Yep, your temperature should be about 98.6 or so. So this energy that's made here makes all the little parts in your cells work and all the parts in your body work. Eventually you give off as heat. And if we take your temperature, we can measure what that is. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop here. And again, probably tomorrow we'll just talk a little bit more about how all this ties together in our universe and what a perfect little system it is. All right, guys, have a great day.